Hey guys, Danny Johnson here, and today we're going to be installing the ceiling fan. And so this is the model number of it, the Rockport one, and this one does have the option to use either one or two switches. So if your house had one switch, it will work. You'll just have to pull the string on the fan, or if you do have your house wired with two switches, it'll be able to do that as well. You really don't need a lot of tools, just some screwdrivers and some wire cutters and strippers. The first thing you want to do is turn the light switch on where you are working, and then go turn the power off. And you want to make sure when you do that the light actually does go off. Then when it's off, go ahead and flip the switch as well as another precaution. Also, you want to make sure that your ceiling fan is going to be able to be supported. And so there's different ways of doing that. Ours was pre-wired in the house, so it already has the mounting bracket into the studs, but you don't want to just try to mount this without it. So first you're going to take this little cup thing and you're going to remove the 4 screws here. As soon as you do that, this mounting bracket comes out. Next, you're going to follow these wires coming from the fan motor and put them through the hole in that cup and then through the hole in this shaft. There are also set screws here that we're going to loosen, but not remove all the way, just loosen them out. And so now we have both of these pieces coming through here. And as you get that shaft down in there, you will then take this post that comes with it and slide it through the base here and through the 2 holes that are in that shaft. So you line the 2 holes up and this slides through to hold them both in place. Okay, and so just slide that shaft through, and then you're going to take the cotter pin that's given to you and you're going to slide it through the end of it, and that way it won't come out. And so this is what it should look like here. Again, we have the wires coming through both the shaft and the bowl, and then you have that pin going through with a cotter pin in its place to hold it there. Next, you'll just go back in and tighten up the set screws that we removed. Remember, we just backed them out. We never removed them all the way, so we're just tightening these back down. And then you're going to have to remove the existing ceiling fixture, and so in this case, it's really simple. I'm just taking off that little bulb here and dropping this down. Once you get this out of the way, there's 2 screws that are up in there, and you just remove each of those. And then the whole fixture pulls down, and you should have where it's been tied in here. So we just untwist these caps, and it'll expose the bare wire there that have been twisted together. So you just remove both of those, and then untangle the wire. So when you're done, you should be left with these wires coming out, a black, a white, a ground, and sometimes a second red one, which is what this one has because there's another switch for the house. Next, we're lifting this plate back up in, and again, this mounts to a pre-mounted ceiling fixture. Don't try to mount this just to your ceiling if you don't have it. And then you're going to take the ball of the fan thing, and you're just going to basically lift it up and put it down into its cradle. And so it's a little hard to do one-handed. I'll show you what it looks like installed here, but it just pushes right down and hangs inside that little cavity there. Okay, next you're going to take the wires, and they've given you a lot in case you have the extension, and you're going to take it. It has to be at least 12 inches long coming from the motor, and at about here or so, we're going to go ahead and cut this. So we got our wire cutters in here, and we're just going to cut all 3 wires pretty much to the same length here. And so now we have our strippers, and so what you do is you put it in here, and as you squeeze the handle, it will strip off the insulation, and you're left with just the wire. So you can cut these with a knife and everything else, but these strippers work a lot better. Okay, so now you should be left with a white, blue, and black, and they should be stripped and cut to their new lengths. So what you want to do is take the white one, and you're going to tangle it back up and twist it to the white one coming from the house. So once you twist those up, it should look like that, and then you'll put the cap on. So just twist the new cap that they give you on there. Now, next you'll do the blue, black from the motor and the black from the house if you only have one switch in your house. Okay, so that's what it should look like if you have one switch. If you have 2 switches in the house, you're going to take this new red wire that's coming from the ceiling that hasn't been used, and that's going to go to the blue wire. And so those 2 together will operate only the fan motor. Okay, and so That's how it's going to look now. You're going to take the other green ones with the bare copper coming from the ceiling and twist those together. Both those green came from the new kit, by the way. Okay, next we're going to remove these stops in here. And so you get a screwdriver, and there is an access hole to get to those. So if you see here, you can go right up through here. So you get a dead screw on it, and you're going to take out this one. Next, you're going to get the new piece here, and see how it has a notch in the middle? That notch goes in the center there. So you just line this up very simply like this. And the screws are already attached in the arm here, so we're just going to reach up through that service hole again, and we're going to tighten these down one at a time. So tighten them evenly one at a time, and again, that's what it's going to look like up through the hole. So we're going to repeat that until all of these are on, and so now that they're all on, we're going to go ahead and put on the actual fan blades. So the fan blades, they have two sides, so we're going to use the side that looks a little more decorated down. And these are very simple. You just put these on, and you line up the holes so that they come through. And then just pull the blade outward until it clicks. Sometimes if your fan doesn't have this quick attachment, you just have to screw those in individually. But that's a really nice feature on this, to just put it down and pull it until it clicks, and you'll see that little tab pop up to put pressure on it so that it doesn't come loose. And so next we're going to take the piece that comes in here. We're going to remove all of these screws on the side here. This is for the light kit. Okay, remove all 3 screws entirely. They're going to go up in there. Now the light kit looks complicated, but it's actually only plugging in these 2 wires. Everything else is just the wiring that the fan comes with. So you're going to line up the black with the blue, and they plug in together. And then you're going to do the white with the white. They just plug right together. Now you will notice that on these, the male end has the 2 little tabs that come out on the sides. It's kind of hard to see here, but it has 2 tabs that are coming out on each side of the wire. And then the plug that you're plugging them into has 2 slits in the sides of them. So see those holes on the side? So you just want to line those up so that the slits go into those holes as you plug them in. Very simple to do. And so this one's just started. It's not plugged in all the way, but you just line them up and plug them together. So they'll click into place, and you'll know that that went in just fine that way. Those tabs will be sticking out of the holes. Okay, and then we'll just lift that whole assembly up and put the screws in, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, just make sure the wiring is going into a nice place and you're not pinching anything as you do that. Next, we're going to go to the light fixture here, and we're going to unscrew these little sleeves here. And so once you remove them, then you're going to lift the actual glass into place, and then you're going to put those back on. So they just thread back in on the inside, and that's what holds the actual glass back on. Okay, then just put in the light bulbs, and you're good to go. This is what it looks like operating. And again, you have 2 switches here to operate the lights or the fan, if that's the case. But if you only had 1 switch in the wall, you'll have it wired with that blue and black wire together. If you don't want to use the lights, there is a light kit here. It goes on the same way with those 3 screws. And the last step is to make sure you clip on these little tassels here so it's easier to flip the switches. There is also a fan direction switch up here, so it'll have it operate in reverse or forward. So thanks for watching, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I have other videos for other ceiling fan installs and mini blinds and some other things, and a whole lot of automotive tutorials too. So please check out the channel and subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. Just put it in the comments. Thanks, guys.